Hello, my name is William James. I am the host of the Bald Book Geek. How are all of you? So, I wasn't going to make another video about Batwoman, but here we go. Batwoman was not good. It was not a good show. It was badly written. It was detritus. It was content. I saw this on someone else's video and I saw this on Twitter, and it's like, I just wanted to talk about it because it's so apt and so accurate. So, let's start the show, shall we? But first, a very quick word from our sponsor. Thank you, Mountaineer Brand, for sponsoring my video today. These are all natural products for your manly needs. Great products, actually. From beard oils, beard balms, shower stuff, soap bars, shaving gel, shaving liquid, beard conditioners, beard oils, you name it, it's all there. There are countless products, they're all natural, they smell great, and a huge range. I've never had a bad experience with them, and if you follow the link in the description of this video, you guys can get money off your first order with Mountaineer Brand, which is even better. I absolutely adore these products, and I've been using them for a long time, long before they even sponsored a video. So, here I am, a bald-bearded man who loves Mountaineer Brand. Do check them out, and all the links and info you need are below. The Batwoman Writers' Room have campaigned to get this show back on the ground, get it onto HBO Max or something. And I saw this exchange on Twitter that both made me laugh hysterically, and just, it's funny. So, as you can see, I'll read it to you. Comments trying to detract and deflect from the impact, safety, representation, happiness, and hope that Batwoman, black women can be seen at the door and left behind. It's 2022, be better. Calling a show that made strides for representation for queer black women anything but positive in an attempt to change the narrative, and it's time we stop letting those who don't matter have the stage. Let the black women have the floor. Batwoman was never about Batwoman. The writers, they had no care for the character. And this is a thing that I see a lot, and there was a whole TED talk and all of this. It's activism before story. And we're seeing this here and now, and the reply on this is the most accurate thing I've ever seen. Your show was dog shit. The stories were garbage. Representation is no substitute for good storytelling, and to hide behind it shows your cowardice and inability to take responsibility for yourselves. You were lucky to get 3 seasons. You didn't even deserve 1. And this is such a true comment. And this is the age we live in. And I've been told off for not liking representation and being against representation and diversity because it's so stunning and brave. No. Story and characterization comes first. I'm trying to be a writer. I'm trying to get my book off the ground. But story, characterization, world building, all of these things come first. I don't care about representation, diversity in this stuff, because it's never done well. It's the main focus. Everything is about it, and it's being put first. It's your activism before storytelling, and the lack of good storytelling is showing. I mean, I've had this conversation about Star Trek Discovery. The difference between old Trek and new Trek, for example, is in the old Trek, you were seeing an idealized version of what the future could be. But with new Trek, specifically Discovery, you are seeing a really idealized version of what people want now, and there's a fundamental difference in storytelling there. I want good characters. I want good writing. I want good world building. I want these characters to succeed, and Batwoman is a great comic book character. But this show didn't do her justice. Season 1, it was all about the woman wearing the bat suit, and it was very disrespectful towards Batman. And it was very disrespectful to the origin, and the show had almost nothing to do with Batman. Or Batwoman. There was none of her villains. There was none of that in it. And I don't know if it was a licensing thing, or just not being able to use them, because that does happen. That is a thing. So I don't know the ins and outs there. Ruby Rose left, and no one stood up for her, which leaves so many red flags there. From what I've heard, she's meant to be quite difficult. I don't know if that's true or not. Season 2 happened, and it was all about the queer black woman. It was never about the story. It was never about characterization. It felt very isolated. I'm amazed they didn't cancel it after season 1. The viewership has gone down, and all these people trying to save it. There's no point. No one cares about this show. If it was a good show with good writing and good characters and stories that we cared about, then maybe try and save it, but it isn't. Batwoman was never about Batwoman. It was about the writer's room. It was about them pushing their narrative, pushing their activism, pushing for representation, diversity, but forgetting you actually have to tell a story. Forgetting you have to have characters that actually matter. Forgetting you have to have decent actors in the role. Forgetting what Batwoman should be. Batwoman is an iconic character. And I mean that. She's bloody brilliant. But this iteration, these 2 iterations of Batwoman, had nothing to do with her. It was never about that. And it's a shame, because this could have been a really good show, and I've said that before. This could have been brilliant, and it just wasn't. And Lord of the Rings is probably going to be this Rings of Power garbage is probably going to be the same narrative as well, which is not good. I wish companies would do it and just take responsibility. And in those tweets, they're trying to deflect the narrative and say it was not about what it was about. No one watched the show. The show wasn't making good audiences, therefore it was cancelled. It's not difficult. It's not hard. It's the nature of television. It's the nature of especially things like the CW. If no one's watching it, cancel it. Like I said, don't make this show. Don't give these writers another chance, because, like the tweet said, your show was dog shit. And just put the money into Superman. That's a good show. That's a really good CW show. Put the money into that you were wasting on Batwoman. Put it into that. Or Naomi. That's another one. That's a horrible show, by the way. But put that money from those shows into Superman. Get those special effects budget pushed up a bit, because some of those are a bit ropey. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't have good characters, good writing, good world building, good stories, things that people actually care about, no one's going to care about your show. It doesn't matter how much representation diversity you shoehorn into it, how much identity politics you're going to alienate the core audience of these things with. No one's going to watch your show. It's not that difficult, isn't it? You want to make money? Learn from Spider-Man. That simple.